It's the new year, and I know a lot of us are tackling declutter and organization projects around our household. I'm no different. I've been doing that this week, so I thought it would be fun to take you along with me and not only show you what I'm doing, but what we're eating this week. Really easy meals that I put together because when I'm tackling lots of other projects around the house, the last thing I want to do at the end of the day is spend a ton of time in the kitchen tackling dinner. Having a clean, functional home actually makes me more productive. And even though I try to keep up with it in the day-to-day, sometimes I just need to actually carve out some time in my schedule to tackle some projects for a longer period of time. This week, I dedicated just a little bit of time in each day to address a problem area in my household. And I thought I'd share with you what we ate on those days as well. I know with it being the beginning of the year, a lot of people are looking for a fresh start. And speaking of a fresh start, I know a lot of you may also be stocking your pantries. So I want to take a minute before we dive into the video to thank today's sponsor, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is on a mission to make healthy living affordable for everybody. And they do this by offering an online grocery market where you can go to their website and you can shop from thousands of natural and organic products that are priced up to 30% off traditional retail. Plus, they have a price match guarantee. So if you find a product that they offer at a lower price in one of your local stores, they will match it. I know this is a time of year when a lot of people are getting back to what a healthy way of living looks like for them, or they're trying out new eating lifestyles, and Thrive Market makes this really easy. You can sort their entire website of products according to your dietary preferences. So if you want to find products that are gluten-free, that are vegan friendly, that are keto or paleo friendly, if you are looking for products for a Mediterranean style diet, you can actually see all of those in one spot on their website. When you go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom, or you visit the link in the description box below when you sign up for a membership, you're gonna get 30% off your entire first order. That's everything in your first order, 30% off, plus a free gift worth up to $60. I actually just re-upped my Thrive Market membership, and I do the annual membership because it comes out to just around $5 a month. And for every annual membership that is purchased, they give one to a family in need. Plus, they have a savings guarantee across the year. So if you don't save at least as much money as your annual membership costs you, they'll credit you the difference. Maybe you're like me and you're just trying to get your pantry and your kitchen back into fighting shape after the holidays. I buy a lot of pantry staples from Thrive Market, things like beans, both prepared and dry, pasta and rice, plus lots of different alternatives for those things that cater to specific lifestyles, sauces, condiments, and seasonings, basic canned goods that I use all the time, and even snacks. Thank you again to Thrive Market for being a longtime supporter of my channel. Visit that link in the description box or go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom. And don't forget to take advantage of that introductory offer. It's 30% off your entire first order plus a free gift. Today, I have been working on cleaning up, decluttering, reorganizing the master bathroom, the vanities, and then we have a linen closet in there as well where I store a little bit of medicine, some linens, some toiletry items, and that was in desperate need of a cleanup. Our master bathroom is also home to the master closet, so I did some work in there as well. I actually took a few boxes of clothing items to the Goodwill earlier this week, but I still managed to come up with some things that I was ready to donate or some things that just needed to be thrown away, and was able to move some things around and just make it look less cluttered. I also worked on my own winter wardrobe, what I plan to wear for the next 3 months or so. I am a person who is easily overstimulated by too many choices, and I have found that recently I've been standing in my closet trying to figure out what to wear. So I went through my closet and I found some items that I like, that fit me well, that I can mix and match to create a variety of outfits, and I just have those all sitting up front right there ready for me, and that makes it easy for me to pick out what I'm gonna wear in the mornings based on what the weather is, what my day looks like, if I want to dress a little bit more professionally, if I want to keep it casual, if I'm gonna be at home, if I'm gonna be out running errands, so on and so so forth. While we were in Texas last week, my son was with his grandparents, my in-laws, who we were visiting while they were dropping into the grocery store for something, and they were in Brookshire's, and he was so excited to bring this home for me. It's a little free, I guess, magazine that they put out from time to time with lots of different recipes, and I love it whenever my kids give me ideas, not only for what they want to eat, but also for things that they think would do well on my channel. You know, I like it whenever they understand what it is that I'm doing, and they're like, hey, I thought of you when I saw this, Mom, and there's some really fun things in here that maybe you could make. He was specifically enamored with a particular layout in the magazine that featured 4 meatball recipes. My son, the meat lover, was really wanting me to make one of these meatball recipes. So we're gonna try out these honey garlic pork meatballs, but I'm gonna take some shortcuts. Instead of making the meatballs from scratch, I'm gonna use already prepared meatballs, just frozen meatballs, and I'm gonna make the sauce to go along with them, and we're gonna get it going in the crock pot for a super easy dinner tonight. In my crock pot, I have 1 2-pound package of fully cooked meatballs, and I made a sauce to cook them in from 1 cup of water plus half a cup of reduced sodium soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of honey, about half a teaspoon of ginger, and a tablespoon each of minced garlic, which would be about 3 to 4 cloves minced if you're using fresh, and a tablespoon of chili garlic sauce. And now I'm just gonna pour that over the top of the meatballs and pop the lid on. I'm gonna let these just heat up on low for about 5 hours. You could do this on high for probably 2 to 3. I mean, the meatballs are fully cooked. And I may be coming back to add a cornstarch slurry to thicken up the sauce at the end. We'll just wait and see what we get. My meatballs smell really, really good, but I am going to thicken this sauce up with a cornstarch slurry that I made from 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. So I'm just gonna put this in here and stir it in and then pop the lid back on, and the heat will help thicken up that sauce. I just made some rice to go along with this. I just threw it into my Instant Pot Aura with some frozen veggies and a little bit of garlic and some everything but the bagel seasoning, some water. I put it on the rice steaming setting, the rice steamer setting, just made it that way. And that is what I have here along with the meatballs. They turned out really, really good. That sauce thickened up nicely with the cornstarch slurry, and there's plenty to put over the meatballs and the rice. Just a really easy 1 bowl meal with the rice and the meatballs and the veggies all here in the same bowl. Yummy. A few days ago, I tackled our game cabinet. This is where I store games and puzzles, and I was able to make room for some new ones that we received at Christmas time by removing some that we've just outgrown or no longer play. Things like Operation, Guess Who, Connect 4, and I contacted my son's 3rd grade teacher, and she was delighted to take those off my hands because they need games and puzzles for kids whenever they have inside recess. Another rather small project, but one that I'm really bad about keeping up with on the regular, is my purse. I really need to clean out my purse, declutter my purse. Sometimes I'm amazed at the things that I find when I take the time to do that. But the main project for me today is the laundry room. One of the first things I needed to do to tackle this project was to keep the laundry moving that we already had going, which is why you hear the dryer going in the background. I got some laundry going. I'm always doing towels because I have 2 swimmers in my family, so I have to wash a lot of towels every week. And my laundry room is a fairly decent size. I just really struggle to find ways to efficiently use the space. I have 2 pretty large closets. I've taken the doors off of them because it's just so much easier for me to function in here without having to open and close doors in a pretty tight space. And one side of it is like household items, paper goods, and my laundry basket, and tissues, and toilet paper, and paper towels, light bulbs on that side. And the other side is sort of like a home base for all of the sports stuff. So my kids' bags, swimsuits and towels, sunscreen, equipment, and that is something that I really need to kind of redo today because we've changed up some of our sports that we're playing, and I need to make that function a little bit better for us. I really wanted to get all the sports bags off the floor because we've been just tripping over them and unable to open the door. So I moved the basket that has the clean towels from on top of this little storage thingy majigger to the other side of the laundry room, which sort of makes sense because I have a bin for dirty towels and a bin for clean towels, and now the clean towels are across from the dryer and the dirty towels are across from the washer. And I'm thinking about this rod up here that obviously is for clothing, but I know there's probably a way that I can utilize this for storage, like have something that hangs from it that stores things. Leave me a comment below if you have any little tricks about how I could use this hanging rod to create some more storage baskets or some kind of storage solution for this space. I'm interested in that. Sometimes cleaning up pays off in unexpected ways. I was just putting away a bag that my kids had taken in the car last week when we were traveling for the holidays, and I found in it a perfectly good fun size Milky Way. Finders keepers. For dinner tonight, McKenna has requested Frito chili pie. It's one of her favorite things. And I have shared my dad's chili recipe many times on this channel before. In fact, I think I have a short, just like a little 60-second video that outlines how to make that. I'll leave that linked in the description box below. But I was perusing Pinterest for maybe some other ideas, and I found this one from Kitchen Fun with My Three Sons that is sort of like a Southwest style flair to the chili. It uses enchilada sauce and some taco seasoning. So I thought it would be fun to try that out. I'm gonna make some changes, but I will leave the original, what inspired me, linked in the description box below. I just finished browning 1 pound of ground beef with half of an onion chopped. And now I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, brand name Rotel, 1 can of enchilada sauce, I'm using red enchilada sauce, plus 1 can of water, which is about 1 cup, just a little over 1 cup from a 10-ounce can. You're also gonna need some taco seasoning. You can just use 1 packet, or I make mine from scratch, so I'm gonna use about 2 tablespoons or so. And instead of using pinto beans, I'm actually gonna use refried pinto beans. So, you know, these are basically just smushed up pinto beans. And I think it's just gonna give the chili a little bit of a creamier consistency, which I think will be really good since we are planning to turn this into Frito chili pies. I'm just going to stir this all together, make sure that everything's incorporated, and pop the lid on and let it simmer on low all afternoon, about 6 hours. This is actually gonna work out fantastic because tonight McKenna has basketball practice and my 2 swimmers actually have a little swim meet in town, and we're all gonna be getting home a little bit later than usual and very hungry, so it'll be nice to just have this in the crock pot waiting for us. All I will have to do is get out the Fritos and some shredded cheese and sour cream. I'll also probably make up a little rice, or I think we have some left over from last night's meal if I want to use that, because I like my chili with rice and then I just put a few corn chips on top. But super easy meal. I'm excited to see how this tastes because it's a little bit different than I typically make chili, but I think it's going to be really great. You might be wondering, Mindy, what about your kitchen? You are a cooking channel. Don't you need to declutter and organize your kitchen? And the answer is yes, and that is probably a video in and of itself. You see me organize and declutter my pantry, fridge, and freezer all the time because I do pantry cooking or use it up challenges about every month or two. In fact, I just put one up on the channel. I'll leave it linked in the description box below, along with a playlist that has a lot of those challenges. But while I do keep up with food storage in my house on the regular, I know that my kitchen is in desperate need of a declutter and reorganization. We're in our 5th year in this house, so I've kind of gotten the hang of how my kitchen functions. And as my kids are getting older and they're helping out more with chores and they're helping out more with cooking, I know that I need to just make the kitchen more accessible for them. There's probably some things that we don't use very often that can be put away in spaces that are a little harder to reach, and then some stuff that we do use a lot or that the kids need access to that I need to make more accessible for them. So you might be seeing another organization video from me very soon, specific to my kitchen, where I'm talking about how I organize it and also sharing some more meal ideas as I'm doing that, because it would probably be a multi-day project for me. And maybe even talking about some of my favorite items, some of my favorite appliances and cooking utensils for somebody who might be looking for some ideas, who's maybe just starting out in a kitchen. If that is something that you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments below. What I am working on today is a digital declutter. And I actually try to do this at least every other other month, if not every month. In fact, it's a necessity where my computer is concerned because I work in social media and I make video content that can really fill up my hard drive very quickly. So I actually need to get a lot of my videos and clips and footage off of my computer once a month. I use an external hard drive. I'll leave one linked in the description box below. It holds 1 terabyte of data, so it takes a long time for that to fill up. That's where I back up all of my completed videos and any other important documents, you know, things on my computer that I want to keep. I also try to go through my emails, my inboxes, and make sure that I'm clearing those things out, that I've responded to things or attended to things that need my attention. And I also try to go through my phone and delete old pictures, look through, you know, any messages or voicemails maybe that might be cluttering up my phone. And then at the end of the year, I actually try to go through all of my pictures on my phone and get rid of anything that I might have missed. Like if we're in the grocery store and we take a picture of something and send it to our spouse because we want to make sure that we're buying the right thing, or I maybe get a screen capture of an order that I placed just so I remember what I purchased and when to expect it. And sometimes I forget about those in the moment, and then I go back, you know, later on in the year and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need this, I don't need that. The other thing that I do where my phone is concerned is actually go back through my pictures from the previous year, the ones that made it through the declutter, and pick out a few dozen to actually print. I will send them to a Photoshop somewhere or to CVS or someplace with a Photoshop, and I will have physical copies of the pictures printed. That way I have some to put in frames to send to grandparents. I've also thought about putting them into a book, like putting every year into a book. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I would have to go back several years and just catch up a little bit at a time because those books can get kind of pricey. You know, otherwise they just end up living on my phone. I don't end up doing anything with them. And the beginning of the year is a good time for me to go back through the previous year's photos and pick out some that I want to print. Tonight I am making a tried and true weeknight family favorite. This one was requested by my oldest daughter. It's one of her favorites. It's a super easy one-pot meal. I'll leave the original recipe linked in the description box below. I've made several adjustments. I've scaled it up quite a lot too so that it makes bigger portions and produces leftovers because a lot of times people like to have the leftovers for lunch the next day. I've just finished browning 1 pound of ground beef in my pot here with half of an onion chopped up. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, about 2 cloves or 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, a splash of Worcestershire, 2 cups or a 16-ounce package of orzo. And orzo is a pasta actually. It looks like a rice, but it's actually a pasta. It's a very small pasta. I have used rice in place of the pasta before. You can do that. You would just want to maybe adjust the amount of liquid that ends up going into the recipe. Now I'm going to add about 4.5 cups of water and 2 to 3 teaspoons of beef bouillon, or you could just use 4.5 cups of beef broth. I want to stir this all together, and I'm going to bring it to a simmer and then reduce the heat to low and cover it and let it cook until the pasta is cooked and the liquid is absorbed. It usually takes mine about 12 to 15 minutes or so. This is finished cooking. It took mine about 12 minutes total. I did give it a stir every 3 to 4 minutes just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of my pan. And now to finish it up, all I do is stir in 8 ounces of sour cream. That's 1 cup of sour cream. Again, remember that I'm basically doubling this recipe. You can check out the original if you want to make a little bit less. It's linked in the description box. I am just going to finish this up, and we're having this with a side of green beans. Super easy, fast dinner tonight. Pick out one of these videos to watch next. Don't forget to check out Thrive Market. They're linked in the description box below. And thank you again to them for sponsoring today's video. I'll see you soon.